A targeted United States drone attack in the Afghan capital Kabul killed Ayman al-Zawahiri, one of the world's most wanted terrorists, on whose head there was a $25 million bounty also placed. Announcing the killing from the White House, US President Joe Biden said, "Now justice has been delivered and this terrorist leader is no more." Al-Zawahiri's killing concluded a 21-year-old global manhunt and marks the end of an era for the lethal terrorist organization. Zawahiri, an Egyptian-trained surgeon, founded the Al-Qaeda bin Laden in 1988 and took over the organization after bin Laden's death in 2011. He is reputed to be the mastermind who helped coordinate the September 11, 2001 attacks that killed nearly 3,000 people. He is also meant to be among those responsible for the assassination of former Egyptian President Anwar al-Sadat nearly 4 decades ago. Al-Zawahiri had resurfaced recently earlier this summer and indicated various efforts at recruiting cadres in India. His presence in Afghanistan, however, also shows that the new Taliban regime has continued to maintain its links with Al-Qaeda and that the terrorist infrastructure in that country remains intact. We are joined by Ambassador Ashok Sajjanhar, who will explain to us the implications of this killing for India and for the region. While the killing is going to come of Al-Zawahiri is going to come as a relief to the civilized world, his presence in Afghanistan clearly indicates that the Taliban regime there has not delivered on its commitment to keep the country away from the global terrorist network. So what does killing particularly mean for India and for the region?
As you have said very rightly, he took up the reins of Al-Qaeda in 2011, a few months after Osama bin Laden was killed by the US SEALs. And he has been, of course, at the forefront of various terrorist attacks that have been taking place. Over the last 10 years, of course, he has been helping out the Taliban in its fight against the US forces in Afghanistan, against the ISAF forces in Afghanistan. And I think considerable credit for the fact that Taliban was able to come back into power in Kabul really goes to Ayman al-Zawahiri and Al-Qaeda. Of course, the Taliban rulers, and particularly whether it is Sirajuddin Haqqani or all the others who have been involved with this, they have been claiming that there is no threat, there is no danger to the civilized world from terrorist groups in Afghanistan. In fact, just in an interview that was given by Sirajuddin Haqqani to the CNN a few hours before this killing took place, he had mentioned that Al-Qaeda in Afghanistan is dead. He said Al-Qaeda does not exist in Afghanistan. So I think we really need to see, number one, that all the claims and the commitments that the Taliban dispensation has been making over the last 1 year, that it is quite clear that they have not stuck to their word, which was given in Doha when the Doha Accords were signed, and also all their protestations of being against any terrorist group, that they are not going to support any terrorist group, that all those claims have fallen flat. Nilova.
Absolutely. Ashok, while they've been protesting even his killing and saying that the United States has reneged on its agreement signed at Doha with the Taliban, the fact actually remains, as you rightly pointed out, that the Taliban have completely reneged on all of their agreements with the others. And al-Zawahiri's presence in the heart of Kabul clearly indicates that. But can we, how would this man's removal help India particularly in its war against terrorism? I mean, we have been trying our hardest to keep our region, our country and our region free of terrorism terrorist influences. Will this go a long way to that extent?
I think it will have a very significant salutary impact on the spread and rise of terrorism in the region. Of course, when there is a big body like the Al-Qaeda and the leadership goes, that really deals a body blow to that organization. And I think it will take it quite a long time for it to recover. Now, as far as Al-Qaeda is concerned, that is also, as you mentioned in your introductory comments also, they have, it's not only, of course, Al-Qaeda, it's also the Islamic State that has been making all these, saying that what are the actions that they are going to take against India in terms of, because of the policies that are being pursued, as they claim, by the Indian establishment, by the Indian government. So Al-Qaeda has also been making these claims that what are their plans as far as India is concerned. So I think that is going to get a big blow with the killing of Ayman al-Zawahiri. The second is that it will put also the Taliban administration, it will put them on the back foot. It will sort of, put them in a corner, because it has now become very clear that whatever they have been claiming, whatever they have been, the protestations that they have been making, that that has all been a smokescreen. That has all been, devoid of any accuracy or factual content. And their statements are going to be going forward. They are going to be treated with great suspicion and will not have any credibility. Lastly, I think the United States has also demonstrated by its action that although it might have left last year at the end of August, but they still continue to be engaged as far as this region is concerned. You would recall that the United States has been in very active deliberations and conversation with several of these Central Asian countries, particularly Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, whose foreign ministers have been in the United States in recent months, basically trying to see if they can have some over-the-horizon capabilities that can be established in those regions. In those countries. And also, as far as Tajikistan is concerned, because Tajikistan is the only country which has refused to engage in any manner whatsoever with the Taliban administration. So the president of Tajikistan was in Europe, was in New York. So I think they are also trying to see that the terrorism from Afghanistan does not go out to other countries.
Given these circumstances, Ashok, the man has been taken out in a very clean kind of way, one must admit, given what visuals, what one has been seeing. There hasn't been any great collateral damage and so on. So is this likely to also put, say, the Pakistani ISI establishment on the back foot? Because they have, of course, as we all know, been very close with the Taliban. And it is unlikely that the presence of somebody like an al-Zawahiri in Kabul would have been unknown to them.
Oh, you are very right, Nilova. I don't think that Pakistan and the ISI was oblivious of this fact. Not at all. You would recall that when these changes were taking place, then last year on 15th of August, the Taliban moved into Kabul. But at the beginning of September, on the 4th or 5th September, we had the ISI, DG ISI chief, Faiz Hamid. He had come to Kabul, and you would recall very well the sort of arrogance and hubris and insolence with which he conducted himself, saying that, he had come for a trade mission or something of that sort. So obviously the ISI has been involved very closely with the Taliban before, when they were fighting against the US forces, against the NATO forces. And ISI was also behind the attack on the Panjshir complex in early September last year. We have seen that the ISI and Taliban relationship in recent months has gone rather sour. Even in fact, relations between Taliban and the Islamabad as well as Rawalpindi, they have not been particularly good, both because of the issue as far as the Durand Line is concerned, and also as far as the activities of the Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan are concerned. What the Afghan Taliban has said is that they will try to control the activities, but they have done nothing of that sort. They have tried to put the Pakistan establishment and TTP to come in contact. There have been very small-scale temporary ceasefires, but that has really not helped. But Pakistan has also been using the Al-Qaeda for its own purposes.
Thank you so very much.
Thank you very much.